Hello. Also,
There was literally dust that came off.
no, I need to seriously dust off this whole entire countertop. But Kellan, sorry to say, is not a true fan of the sport of mixed martial arts in the UFC. Because when we filmed that episode last time, the reason we have a built-in excuse for why we didn't film last week, and that's because one, didn't really feel like we needed to, honestly. But second, is that I thought the Lewis Spivak card was that upcoming weekend.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't. And it was Saturday. I was like, oh my God, I got to check out the fights. And I was like, oh wow. No fights that weekend. Overall, Bianca's birthday weekend was really good. Besides the fact that the 49ers got their ass handed to them. And
there was a lot of hiccups that weekend, actually. Let's be honest. So, if you've ever heard of Ken's Artisan Pizza in Portland, PSA and calling their ass out, don't go there. It is not worth the hype. It is literally frozen pizza, and we waited way too long to be so unsatisfied at the end of the meal. We were on DoorDash by the end of the night.
Okay. I don't like it. Okay, wait, hold on.
Because the things this man was saying to me when we were in the car, and we were coming up with every single punchline we could.
Before we just start
to tear this
on a restaurant down here, who doesn't care? Like, AGNG isn't going to bring down Ken's Pizza, okay? They just had an article come out about how they're like top 5 in the nation today. Ready?
That's what I woke up to this morning. I saw that article and I said to Kellan, I'm literally going to...
Because of this fact that they're...
sue this company.
They're going to be doing fine. We're not going to bring down their ratings. We tried to on Yelp. We were going to bring them down with...
We were going to try to make a Yelp review.
One hell of a review. And also, American Dream did us a bit dirty last time too.
So American Dream is a pizza place only in Corvallis. We've had bad luck with pizza lately. And it was... We didn't get pizza, so we can't really complain.
How hard is it to bring us a couple breadsticks?
We got breadsticks and salad, and the salad to me wasn't as good as it could have been. Sorry. And
don't even get Bianca started on city cheese.
But, oh my God. But the breadsticks were actually the best breadsticks I've had from there. They just took...
They could put a little more girth on them, though, I think.
Yeah, they were like this thin, but they were really buttery. I'll give it to them for the breadstick taste.
No, they lathered them up first.
Yeah. They were like, oh, I'm sorry. Here's some extra garlic butter on top.
We probably wasted an extra hour. We didn't need to be there for an extra hour, though.
Oh, yeah. I literally...
You're only allowed to eat one course there at a time.
A breadstick.
Yeah.
45 minutes ago.
I think we learned our lesson,
done with our salad at that point.
We don't sit in Terry, whatever her name was, their seat. There's this couple is like engraved.
Terry and
Sharon or something, bro.
Terry and something.
I don't know, but these people like engraved their names into the brick wall next to where we were sitting in the booth, and they cursed it. It's only for them.
That is their booth, and if we ever sit in that again,
in and we knew it was them, we would definitely shoulder bump them on the way out.
We were like, "Thanks, Terry, for this friggin' shit salad and long ass breadstick."
We're starting this episode on a positive note.
Sorry, yeah.
But yeah,
I guess we're just Dave Portnoy at this point, giving our pizza review.
We just wanted a better experience.
We got a bitter one for sure.
We just wanted a better experience after waiting. We've spent our own time in Portland. We could have been doing anything we wanted, but we were standing outside
to any other restaurant
in the 39-degree weather, and I was like in a t-shirt basically, and
I didn't have
which isn't a good call on my end. But when you expect to get in after that, not to mention that wait in the cold was only to put your name on the wait list.
Oh yeah.
We had to come back an hour and 20 minutes later, then come back, and Kellan took initiative for once in his life and was like, "No, Bianca, we're not waiting in this line again." And we just cut the line, went in, and as soon as we opened that door, they're like, "Bianca?" And I was like, "Oh my God, it's meant to be."
Yeah, we were like, "Oh my God, this is such a good sign. This is gonna be the best pizza ever." We get sat down,
and then they bring out my burrata watery milk bread,
and they bring out the pizza, and we're like, already off the bat, the look of it wasn't even a 10.
Bianca said, "What do you think?" And I was like, "What would she say? What do you rate it at?" And then I was like, "What would you rate it?" And
he goes, I want to hear your ratings first. And I was like, "Yeah, I know he's thinking the same thing."
Well, I just took a bite. I was like, We might as well be in Albany.
We
just
might
taking
as
down
well
a normal pizza.
have gotten McDonald's. I would have been more satisfied with the freaking McNuggets.
And the guy is insistent upon us taking one slice of pizza home, and we're like, "Oh no, it's okay." He's like, "I was like, sure? I'll wrap it up in foil
and he
for
was
you."
Like,
oh, like wrapping it up in foil is gonna make it crispy for me.
Were you guys so happy? Like, how was it? And we're like, "Oh, so good!" Like, we couldn't lie. And then we had a piece left, and he was like, "So you want it for later?" Because we were like, "Oh yeah, it was good," and we're like, "No, it's okay." And he's like, "What?
I wanted, yeah.
You don't want to take this last slice?" And we're like, "No, it's just gonna like reheating it, like chugging one slice around in the car." And he's like, "Oh, I'll put it in tinfoil." Like, thanks.
Oh, yeah, like that'll give it some structural integrity.
Jim,
yeah, I wanted to Spencer Shea that thing when Miss Benson gives him the yogurt balls, and you just freaking throw it like, oh. No one's looking.
But it made our night like so funny because
we were just
shitting on them all night. Like we literally were just like.
And it's a good place. Like
what?
Like it's a good location. It's a fun place to be.
No.
But it's just not like
literally
what you
every
expect
part of it was uncomfortable.
when you waste so much of your day. Actually,
we were
yeah,
this
it was a hot
close.
sauna.
We were this close to some other couple. As soon as you walk in, it's like muggy.
I'm just trying to bring a little bit of positivity.
Line all the way like to the out the door, but all the way up through the front. So people are just standing there. So even walking in is hard. Like not a single part of it was good. A can of Coke. They brought me out a can of Coke, and it was like $4 for a single can of Coke. A positive?
Yeah.
Their ranch. They had good ranch. I'll give them that.
Good ranch.
That was what they had.
Okay.
That was good.
All right. I would say that it was good for the first 2 minutes. Maybe. After that, once the burrata starts seeping into the bread.
It was like literally you lift up the bread and it's like and like we got the
no
Brooklyn.
Undercarriage.
Yeah, as Dave would say. I watched a food review or pizza review today, and he's like, "Look at that undercarriage! Look at that undercarriage! Look at it! Oh my god, this undercarriage!" And he said it, and I forget where, and he gave it an 8.1, so it was pretty good.
8.1. If I had to put it on a scale, I'd probably go 5 for Ken's.
Are you actually kidding? That is so generous.
I mean,
it was like a 3.2.
Okay, yeah, I guess 5 is definitely a rookie score, but because that's an even number.
Rookie vet.
3.2 is a random ass fucking number.
Because it's a vet number.
Yeah,
it's what someone knows what they're talking about.
Best pizza we've ever had, though. I haven't had it yet. I don't think I've had it yet.
One of my favorite pizzas that I've ever had is actually called the Bianca.
Serrata? Are we going to go
And we're going there next weekend. So he gets to try it. It's an Italian place at the coast that we live. But it's called, the pizza I love is called the Bianca, which is it's funny because it's literally exactly how I would make a pizza if you know me. It's with white sauce, garlic, olive oil like on top, basil, and honey drizzled on it. Like, if you know me, is that not the most me pizza? Like, if I were to create a pizza, that is exactly what it would be. So it's funny because it's my name. Which Bianca is kind of like Blanca, which means like white. So it's kind of like a white style pizza, like white sauce, all that. But I honestly think we should.
Kind of pizza. The one thing that I don't love about those pizzas is they get really rich. So I love a little bit of a red sauce combo. Yeah. So if we could get 2 and we could like split, because just one of those pizzas with the garlic and the butter.
But I don't even want to split it because I know I won't like another pizza better than that one. Like I'll want that one more.
Okay.
Because it was the same situation when we went to that brewery and we split one and you kind of ended up liking mine more. But then we were like, oh, it's okay to have the red sauce because it kind of cuts the richness. But we still liked the taste of the other one more, which was also called the Bianca. So it's a theme. I'm the best. So I think maybe we get that and then we can like cut it with like a pasta dish. But we can talk about it later.
Yeah, we can talk about it later. Talk about it later. But what did I say when I woke up this morning? First thing that comes to my mind, having dreams about Photoshop. I mean, I'm just dreaming about like trying to do things in Photoshop now.
Photoshop is okay. Like you have to like.
And I don't
tell the people what things are. Like if I didn't know what Photoshop was, I would think you're talking about like photoshopping a picture.
Yeah, no, like
photoshopping
the Adobe
app is an app where you can edit things in it.
That I'm sure 99% of the population has a computer knows.
No.
But I've just been learning about it the past like year and a half, just with an internship thinking about it a lot. But the first thing that I thought about this morning was Volk versus Islam and how the days are counting down. And the card is going to be absolutely amazing. We'll go we'll do some picks. And I'm going to try to keep Bianca more incorporated in this episode, you know? She's been my co-host's been very verbal about wanting to be more involved in the podcast.
No. I didn't say anything about being more involved or verbal. I just say if you look back at some of the clips,
I do cut you off at times.
And the things that I say, he'll
need to get better at that.
Run past one of my thoughts or things that I have to say, which is whatever, because he is very
just have to be really
if he
careful.
doesn't say something, he'll forget it. So he's always like, go, go, go.
I just have to be careful because you'll say things like, didn't Michael Chandler come in the UFC this year? And then
we'll have to restart the pod.
Okay, so we're actually throwing heat at each other now. We're
no.
shooting shots.
Well, because remember, didn't I say something
I'll
about
load up mine if you want.
No, but didn't that actually... Didn't that not happen? The last time I accidentally threw you off guard and I made a comment about Michael Chandler.
You just find the greatest times to throw me off guard, don't you? Because I'll be getting right into my favorite topics. I'll be like Ilya Taporia. Oh, Mav Sarvoyev, something like that. And she'll just throw a wrench in it. And she'll be like, oh, isn't his opponent wasn't he born March 7th of 1966? And I'll be like, okay, you couldn't have waited till after maybe.
Thanks.
Whoa.
Moving on.
Summer birthday? Oh my God.
Wait, his eyes are blue?
Yeah. Okay. Let's get it.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're right. Okay, there's things I say that
you just find the greatest times to just...
Okay, I actually am crying now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm actually crying.
I'll keep her more involved with this right here because this is a UFC podcast or whatever.
See.
But I think that one topic that we did leave out of our podcast last week was because we tried to just do a year in review, give away some awards and stuff like that. So I did forget because the episode was running a bit too long for Bianca's taste. So
okay, I actually had to go. Remember, it wasn't like
dude, you're literally bawling right now.
Okay, but I can't see because there's
okay?
mascara in my eyes.
I need to have tissues on hand because I guess I just make people laugh till they cry.
Dude, I haven't laughed like that, where I cry in a while.
What am I here for, you know?
Just caught me off guard, that is
but
all.
I want your take. As of right now, all right? We have Alexander Volkanovski, Brandon Moreno, Aljamain Sterling, Islam Leon, Pijeda, Jamal Hill, and no current heavyweight champion. What out of the males do you think is most susceptible to being unveiled? Who do you think could lose? Who do you think is most likely to lose their title? Would it be Islam this week against Alexander?
Yamhal.
That's a good call. Yamhal Hill. I actually do think so because I was talking about maybe doing a segment on most interesting divisions, and that honestly could be the light heavyweight division might actually be the most interesting just because of how wide open it is and how not. I feel like in a lot of the other divisions, the drop off from the champion maybe in the top few candidates to the rest of the pack is pretty drastic, but in Jamal Hill's case, he's not much better than Yair Prochazka. I'd probably favor him against Magomed Ankalaev. Jan Blachowicz is a toss-up. Rakic, you never know. Nikita Krylov definitely on the come up. There's a ton of guys that could definitely... I wouldn't be surprised in the next maybe 4 years if John Jones doesn't come back down to 205, which is unlikely, or if somebody else comes up to light heavyweight. I honestly could see multiple guys getting, holding the belt. I honestly maybe believe there
really
could be
cool.
three guys that touch gold in the light heavyweight division this year. I don't think I really do believe because there's no reason why Jamal Hill couldn't lose a fight. All these other dudes Kamaru Usman, Islam Makhachev, they just are so good at one thing that it's really hard for other people to stop them. But when it comes to light heavyweight, you just have a bunch of well-rounded guys that it's just a toss-up every single time. I feel like that's the one division where if there's a title fight, you're like, oh yeah, that one's up for grabs. Mm-hmm. As if Islam Makhachev's fighting, usually it's probably going to be it's basically like Khabib fighting. Like nobody else is gonna think Islam Makhachev is gonna lose. But that's the one thing that I think that Alexander Volkanovski is probably the most, even though he is at the lower weight class, he does probably pose the most question marks, just because we've never seen the guy lose.
Yeah,
we've never seen the guy lose. He pieces up everybody he fights, and he's just a little tank. And so, how is Islam gonna deal with that? That's my biggest question.
We'll find out.
Do you have any thoughts on that fight, though? Honestly.
Well, so you're gonna get mad because my thoughts are that you just brought up a point that I was thinking in my head that is off topic. So should I say it?
To bring it at me. Just bring it at me. Let's go.
What do you think about Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor?
Yeah.
We never talked about that.
I think we did kind of foreshadow it a little bit last episode.
Well, no, we wondered who it was going to be. We said
but we did say it was maybe going to be.
No, I didn't think we did. We just said who we wanted. I think
you said it. You wanted it to be Conor and Michael.
No, I think I said I wanted Michael to be on it, but then I said I wanted it to be Robert, and I wanted the New Zealand guys. But then you said it's usually people who fight, but we didn't know who it was going to be yet.
Yeah.
So
no, I think that Conor's going to be wild. Cool. It's going to be the most tuned in for sure.
I was going to say, I feel like it's going to be like everyone's going to watch this season.
Because everybody, when he was on with Uriah Faber, that was an absolute whack season. But it's going to be fun, though. And I was telling Bianca that, like, I wonder how many people are going to be butthurt. Because even though Michael Chandler does have a big platform, people are going to want to be on Team Conor. Just to, like, have him follow you on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Just because he's a legend and, like, the GOAT. So I feel like people are going to want him for sure. But I feel like
there's a ton of things
regardless, it's going to be pretty even and good. Like, equal. I think it's going to be... I wonder if there's actually going to be, like, heat between the two guys, though. Because you know how they want the drama of, like, them fighting each other and them, like...
That's like what I don't know, because we've literally got like 4 different versions of Conor McGregor in the past like 3 fights of his, because he literally was like nice Conor with Donald, and then he comes back nice Conor with the first fight with Poirier, right? And then he loses to Poirier, then he becomes a dickwad,
and mean Conor again.
Conor all the way throughout, and now he's like respectful towards kind of Michael, but then there's gonna be heat.
I feel like now, yeah.
It's gonna be I think he just has to like play character, because like more people are gonna watch. Nobody wants to see lovey-dovey Michael and lovey-dovey Conor with one another.
Because they both are like can actually be nice.
I think that Michael in his interview with who was it? I think Brett Okamoto. It's gonna be good till it's not. Or the Ariel Helwani. They're going to be fine. Be like and then there's going to be... The guys are going to be fighting. Like 2 of their teammates are going to be fighting. Or team members are going to be fighting.
Yep.
Conor says something. Michael's going to be like, bro, what are you talking about? Yeah. And then it's going to get heated.
There's going to be like a blowout. I think they are going to try to start it off being nice to each other, obviously. And being like... Not like pals, but they're going to be like nice how they are. Mm-hmm. And then there's going to be a blowout thing. And then everyone's going to be so excited for their fight. Yeah.
And I love Michael Chandler. Like, I'll tune into every single interview he has. But the dude... Okay, hear me out on this. So, Dustin Poirier feels like... I do think that Michael Chandler, he's a really good speaker. Everybody likes him. Speaker? Yeah, people... Shout out to Mipe.
I know, that's literally Sports, what baby. I'm thinking.
God damn, rest in peace. But Michael Chandler... Good guy, but I think Dustin Poirier is kind of right when he talks about how he's a little bit... He's a little sus sometimes, you know?
Oh, really?
Trying to fish hook Dustin Poirier in their fight. Like, I'm a believer of God, I'm Jesus, dude, but when you get into a fight, you can't be... You're not the nice guy all the time.
No.
And when you're like a competitive D1 wrestler, you have a screw loose.
Exactly. There's a little something there.
So that's why it's going to be so fun.
Because you can't literally physically take that much pain and like hitting and like power if there wasn't something in you that was like...
And he's 36 years old. So he's like dedicated and he's a psychopath. Like not a lot of people that are pushing 40 look the way Michael Chandler does.
Oh, yeah, no.
And the fight might be at 170 too. I think it is going to be at 170, which is kind of a wrench in things, but who even cares?
Why is it a wrench?
Just because Dana doesn't really love that. He knows both of those guys can make 155 because they're true 155ers. Both of those guys would get wrecked at 170, you know? Because it's like he likes guys fighting at their... Well, because I think Conor probably wants to fight at his biggest and baddest, and it's getting harder for Michael to cut weight to 155, even though he can. Yeah. But... That would be interesting too, because depending on when they schedule the fight and stuff, they're going to be maybe starting to cut weight and stuff, maybe. Even though it's not going to be as extreme.
Yeah.
But it could maybe somebody keep an eye on, because it could end up making tempers flare a little bit more. But it's respect Conor. Because he could have came back. Like, let's look at the rankings.
I'm actually shocked Conor's doing it, because
it's not an easy fight.
Well, no, not the fight, but like even the show. Because he doesn't seem like the type of guy. He's like, I just want my money and I want to leave. Like, now he doesn't even really care about like the trash talking and stuff. But I feel like for him to actually do the show, he was offered a lot of money to do it, I bet.
Doesn't it feel like a little bit too good to be true almost?
Yeah.
Like, I just get that vibe.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think he's going to back out?
I really hope not. It's pretty set in stone, I feel like, though. But it just seems like we're going to get this 40 million follower Conor McGregor.
Yeah, exactly.
On a reality TV show. It's going to be...
We'll see.
It's going to be weird.
Yeah.
But I'm mostly just excited for them to fight. Just because it's going to be...
That's going to be insane. Yeah.
Heater. And also, okay, this is what I do love about the UFC and Conor McGregor is big respect taking a fight against Michael Chandler, because Michael Chandler is arguably, I would say he's maybe a little past his peak, but he's still like one of the top 5 guys in the lightweight division or in the world at his weight class. And Conor coming back to that's respect. But also, Conor McGregor can sell any pay-per-view he wants. Mm-hmm. He could have fight anybody, an easy fight, a tune-up fight. Mm-hmm. And so... At the same time, Conor's at that point in his career where he can just fight big money fights, and if he loses, his stock's still the same as he wakes up, as even if he loses, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
or if he wakes up the next day and he loses, you know. So like, I don't know. I just think that the UFC, they could have easily did some random ass fight and just know that Conor McGregor is going to sell a bunch of pay-per-views, but now we get the double edge where it's going to be like, okay, we're going to get tough Ultimate Fighter. On top of the fact that you're fighting somebody who cuts the best promos in the UFC with Michael Chandler, because he's one of the best trash talk. I mean, not trash talkers, but he's one of the best speakers. And that's going to be a really fun, because Conor's going to say something. And when he was like talking shit to Uriah Faber on Ultimate Fighter, Uriah, he's not the best at trash talk, but Michael, it's going to be fun to see him like talk trash.
Takes in what he
because
says.
He's really smart, and he's probably going to come back with a witty comeback.
Yeah, he's quick.
And he doesn't get rattled too, because there's a ton of times when I feel like you shoot questions at some of these fighters and they kind of just have to think about things for a second, but he's just super mature about everything.
Well,
and
I don't know if it's mature or if it's almost like...
Mike, I'm talking about Michael though.
No, I know. It's almost like that, like salesman instigator.
Yeah, bro,
like they know exactly
like
what to say.
Like a real estate agent or
like they know what to say to like... what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the vibe that like I feel like Dustin was kind of trying to talk about, is that he's a little like, I'll tell you what you want to hear and be so like perfect, but I actually am kind of an instigator and a little sus behind the scenes.
Right. And cuz like like people ask him stupid questions, but he answers them like it was a normal question. Yeah. And I'll think to myself that was a stupid question, but he gives you like the same answer to every other question.
Yeah, and it's just sales pitchy.
Yeah. Well, but it's nice that he does that.
Yeah,
though. He gives everybody
nice
like respect to.
Totally.
But it's gonna be fun, dude. And
we'll
the promo for that's gonna be sickening. I wonder when they're gonna fight. The undercard better be stacked, baby. What if they did it in like Ireland or something? Because they don't have a location yet. I doubt it.
It'll probably be too
Vegas.
Good to be true.
Probably be Vegas
for Conor. Yeah, probably Vegas.
I don't know.
Why would they not have a location? Isn't everywhere pretty much in Vegas? Or all of the fights?
No.
Or like Anaheim?
Jorge Masvidal is going to be fighting Gilbert Burns in Miami.
Ooh.
Florida, which is going to be sick.
That would be big for Jorge, because isn't he from there?
Yeah. It's like the first time in like for like 20 years that they haven't been to Miami.
So are they almost trying to like travel to where...
Yeah. Well, because they had like the Brazil thing, and then they had... I don't know. Well, Jorge's not the favorite, bro.
Oh. No.
No, I mean in terms of betting, or like Jorge obviously is the...
in terms of betting.
Betting.
Yeah.
Gilbert's favored to beat his ass in that fight, without a doubt.
Oh, but everyone like... Jorge's one of those guys that's also kind of like a must-watch just because he's such a shitty person and trash talker.
I think the real king of Miami, though, is Colby. No, honestly though, I actually was watching Ariel Helwani, and
I'm surprised they didn't have Colby do tough, but yeah, go ahead.
They were trying to do Jorge and Colby, I think.
On tough?
Yeah, There would have been security.
That would have been there. That would have never worked out. The boys would have never actually benefited because they wouldn't.
It would have been too big of a distraction.
Oh, 100%. Though, and plus, I don't even think Colby would care enough for other people to coach.
I think they were trying to do Jorge and Colby.
That would be sick, but
anybody that Jorge's fighting though, it wouldn't have been good.
No,
there would have been a lot of separations.
Yeah.
But Colby, the thing, he might not be fighting because I think that this is just like a rumor, but because of the legal stuff with him and Jorge, the reason why he might not be fighting is because he's trying to prove that he sustained damage from Jorge. And so he couldn't take an MMA fight because that would prove that he's fine, right? Or something like that. So, yeah.
So he's just trying to sue him, so he has to kind of like take a chill pill to get that coin.
I don't know how I feel about it. People are calling him a bitch for suing.
100%.
But Colby beat his ass in the 25 minutes that they fought, and then Jorge jumps him. What's more of a bitch move?
Yeah, but I also feel like
you got paid to seriously fight someone in front of everybody, but instead you sucker punch him. I mean, like, what is the bigger?
If roles were reversed, I could 100% see Colby jumping him.
I don't know, man.
I think I could
He's
see Colby
too
doing
money
it.
wily. He would not want to do that.
They let their emotions take the best of them. Honestly, both of them. I don't think that Colby would have been any better in the scenario.
You're not wrong. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see Colby fucking
I think
jumping
he's just
somebody.
trying to get money.
There would have been no world in which Colby would have jumped him because there's no world in which he's going to lose to Jorge in a UFC fight anyway.
They should do a rematch. I think it would be good.
They should do a rematch. No way. No way.
You don't think they'll ever fight again?
No. No way. Jorge's almost 40. He's like 38, going on 39. He looks good.
Yeah. Honestly, my 40-year-old standards are like way higher now just because of the UFC.
It's just like, I know Michael Chandler's like pushing 37 almost. Maybe I think he's like 36.
I guess
and he literally looks like he's 25.
As you get older though, like I feel like you're like the ages start to seem not as old, obviously. You know, it's like we're 10 years away, less than 10 years away from 30.
Mm-hmm.
And like when I'm 30, I'm going to be like, this is so young. Like yeah. I'm chilling.
I know. I feel like my life when I just think about life, how I'm so late doing things. Oh my God. And it's like, I'm not even 22 yet.
Yeah, I know. We like rush ourselves so much.
Yeah. But speaking of rushing,
28 minutes later on it, nothing.
On pizza and Conor McGregor. Oh, one more thing.
That'll be my doing.
Bruh. Hamzat and Robert Whittaker? Probably sooner or later that fight's going to get announced.
Hamzat and Robert. Robert better bring home the bacon, baby.
I don't know how that one's going to go.
I know, but
I think that could be my dream fight of 2023. Like, out of all the fights that they could make, that could be my favorite. Besides a Colby versus, like, a random... Colby fighting is probably my favorite. Just because any other welterweight hates him. And also, it's just a big fight.
Yeah.
But in terms of Robert and Hamzat fighting...
That would... I mean, it would benefit you and I. We would love to see that. I love Robert. You love Hamzat.
I don't know who I want to win that.
You want Hamzat. Just be honest with yourself. Just be honest.
I wonder how much of an underdog Hamzat will be in that fight.
Anytime I think of Robert Whittaker, I get like a sense of like fuzzy. Like, like he makes me like I want to like go to Hawaii, go somewhere tropical, and just like I want to like go home and watch Soul Surfer.
Vibe.
Like he just brings like chill.
Well, you're gonna love talking about this UFC card because where is it, Bianca? Where is this fight card?
New Zealand?
Perth.
Australia.
Yeah. We got a homeboy, Jack Della. Madalena's fighting on this card. Jamie Malarkey's fighting on this card. Who else do we got on? Culibao's fighting on this card. Obviously, the Volks are fighting on this card, baby. We got some big boys on this card in Perth. It's going to be absolutely crazy. We got... I wish Tai Tuivasa would have not taken that fight against Sergey Pavlovich and maybe like waited into this card because let your brain heal a little bit. But fuck, dude. But... I got really quickly. Bianca didn't get to watch these, but we got to highlight a few things here, okay? And it's that I had no idea some of these guys existed, all right? But I'm going to rattle something off for you, all right? We got Hyunsung Park and Rinya Nakamura, all right? So,
Rinya, that's a name.
Hyunsung Park, I really like him, all right? I think that he's going to be pretty good. He's going to be a great addition to the flyweight division, all right? But he did struggle. I don't know really how good Sung Choi is. I think that could have been, these two guys were just a little bit hesitant because I've never seen them fight before, but you could tell that Hyung Sung is just really quick. Like, he just reminds me of kind of that. He fights really similarly to Song Yadong, and like really good grappling, really quick everything, just like the way he works in and out, his punches, his hooks are extremely powerful. Like, you can tell if he connects on your chin, like he's gonna drop you. But the Sung Choi was actually really tough, and all these guys are concerned. They're like, oh, you're fighting for a UFC contract. Let's be real, if you make it to the finals of a UFC tournament that is involved, and if you're fighting on a UFC card, like, bro, don't you understand, like, if you watch The Ultimate Fighter, that you don't have to win The Ultimate Fighter? Don't you realize that you don't have to win to make it to the UFC? That is just a big, like, oh, you're going to win. That's just to get the trophy, bro. Mm-hmm. If you make it second place, third place, if you have exciting fights, look at Dan Argueta. Gets knocked out in the first round against Ricky Tercios. What is he doing? He's in the UFC right now, bro.
That's so true.
It doesn't matter. It's just for that title. But we did get a new guy. All right, Rinya Nakamura. This dude has Hamzat energy. He has it. I mean, that fight with the Toshiyama Kazama, fearless. Absolutely goes in there. I think he was just trying to, like, maybe land a lucky shot. But the Rinya Nakamura dude, he kind of looks like a dude you'd make in UFC for. Like, I'm being honest with you. He has Hamzat energy, and he has that one punch knockout power. Like, his freaking left hook that he landed or whatever, his counter punch, it just absolutely changed the dynamic of the fight. It was like, okay, Toshiyama seems like he's actually kind of legit. And then all of a sudden, bam. Game, lights out, party's over. Just Gerald Mersharded him, all right? And then also, apparently has a hella good wrestling background. So what are you going to do, shoot on this guy? It's just crazy, dude. Like, some of these kids that are coming into the UFC, Bo Nickel, now Rinya Nakamura, Hamzat Chimaev, so many good guys. It's just the new wave of the UFC, and it's like going to be a standard now. Like, there's no specialist anymore. You literally have to be a mixed martial artist to succeed. If you're going to be a good striker, you better have good takedown defense.
That's so
If you're
true.
a good wrestler, what are you going to say?
That's so true.
Yeah, like, you
the
seriously...
The standard's been raised.
The bars...
Or the bar.
The bar has been drastically raised, dude. It is crazy. But Rinya, right now, you could put him against anybody in the top 15. I guarantee you, he's going to stick with them. In that, we're talking about literally the craziest division in all of the UFC. And I think Rinya is right up there. Also, going back down, Hyunsung Park at 125. His other guy, the guy that opened up the card... man from Japan, Tatsuro Taira. We talked about him on his UFC debut against Carlos Candelario. I had no idea what to expect. I knew he had good submissions, and then he beat CJ Vergara, and now Jesus Aguilar. The dude, I'm thinking the UFC, honestly, because we're talking at the beginning, like, through the whole entire the flyweight division, there's good guys, obviously, at the top, and there's more guys coming in all the time, especially as you've seen with this tournament. Hyunsung Park is a killer. But there's no reason not to fast track Tatsuro Taira, just because that his ground game, he does enough on the feet, okay? He's got pretty crisp, clean boxing, but when you get to the top, yeah, that's what I said right here.
Yeah.
Fast track Tatsuro. Because let's look at the rankings. Let's look at the freaking rankings. Who you got? Muhammad Mokaev, Sumu Darji, Tagiro, and back up Tyson Nam. Guarantee you Tatsuro Taira can hang with all those guys. When we get to Manel Cap, that's a different story. Okay, we'll talk about Manel Cap later. But it seems like a lot of guys are even on the feet. I mean, there are some guys in Baktash Nicolau who can just piece you up. You can't get inside on him at all. Tatsuro Taira seems like he can take down anybody in the division. And if you try to take him down, he's going to pop his head out of that guillotine you just pulled. And then he's going to land some ground and pound. And then he's going to put you a head in an arm choke. Or arm triangle. And then, or he's going to take your back and sink in a rear naked choke. Or if he's on his back, bro, he's going to pull triangle. He's just so dangerous everywhere, and it doesn't seem like any time as somebody is fighting him, even though Tatsuro's in a bad position, you always kind of have that faith that it's like, okay, he's gonna get out of this and he's gonna make you pay for what you just put him in, bro. So I really like Tatsuro. But But that was kind of my main takeaways. Like Rinya Nakamura, hella good. Tatsuro Taira, insane. And the Jung Young Lee, that was a weird fight. Jailton got absolutely screwed. Anshul Jubilee, really good boxing. Oh, Adam Fugate, he won. He's from Eugene, bro. But
That's
yeah,
sick.
though that was sick. But and also Devin Clark, he had a good performance against Donald Jung, who I thought was unstoppable before that Dustin Jacoby fight. But I've got a proposal for you. I know that Jailton Almeida called out Marcin Tybura, who got the dub against Blago Ivanov. But I think, speaking of fast tracking, Jailton Almeida versus Sergey Spivak would be one heck of a show, baby. I think that could be one of the sickest fights. That could be the one fight, besides Hamzat and Robert Whittaker, that I want to see the most. Just because you're going to get two guys, bro, that... It's like when what's that one saying? When an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. What are we gonna get here? Because like both of those guys can be interchangeable, either one. Unstoppable force, Sergey Spivak. Unstoppable object, Jailton Almeida. Unstoppable object, Sergey Spivak. Unstoppable force, Jailton Almeida. Like Jailton Almeida ragdolls the biggest guys in the world with Shamil Abdurakhimov. Just put him on his back. Shamil's never on his back that much probably in his life. And then we get Sergey Spivak, who goes in there against the Black Beast Derek Lewis. Understands that probably don't want to stand with this guy, so we're gonna find his back, or we're gonna trip him. Just stay away, like keep him facing the other direction from us, and we're just gonna land shots from behind the ear. Then we're gonna sink in a choke or whatever. I think it was
Sing and choke.
I think it was an arm triangle or something. But I think that would be one of the craziest fights, because especially at heavyweight right now. Because as much as we want to think that heavyweight is pretty crazy, we got Jailton Almeida at 14 here, and we got who now? Where is Sergey at? Sergey's at 8. It's a pretty sick fight, because looking at it right now, Jailton Almeida, he's going to beat Alexander Romanov. That's probably the toughest fight. He's going to beat Chris Daukaus. He's going to run through Marcin Tybura. We know that. He already beat Derek Lewis. He's going to beat Jairzinho Rosenstruck. So why see him fight another fight in there when we just know he's going to beat all of them? Let's just fast track his ass to the top. Sergey Spivak. And we just have two young guns fighting. And then after that, bro, one more fight, title shot. And I guarantee you, whoever they're fighting, whether that be John Jones, whether that be Cyril Gane is especially in danger if Jailton Almeida is fighting. I'm going to go on record saying it right now. I don't think anybody in the division can grapple with Jailton Almeida. The only way to maybe beat him is to like survive a round where he's on top of you, destroying you, and hopefully he's tired. I know that's probably not going to happen at 205 because he's going to be not as big, not as much muscle on him. But at heavyweight, he does probably have a little bit more. He's probably a little more susceptible to losing, just because, I mean, the dude's got probably one of the best physiques in the UFC at the heavyweight division, but he's got a lot of muscle on him, so and it takes a lot of energy to hold down some of these big guys that weigh 40 more pounds than you. So doing that over the course of 5 rounds, who knows if he can do it, but I'm going on record saying I don't think anybody's going to beat Jailton Almeida at heavyweight, or especially light heavyweight. Light heavyweight, bro, speaking of that, Jailton Almeida could be the double champ, because right now, if you put him against Jamal Hill, I guarantee you Jailton Almeida takes Jamal Hill down, holds him on the ground, and chokes him out. I guarantee you does that to Jiri Prochazka. Not because Jiri Prochazka doesn't have good takedown defense or anything. It's because Jiri, I love the man so much. He's such an exciting fighter. But as we saw in the Glover Teixeira fight, bro, dude puts himself in whack positions. He'll be like winning an exchange, and all of a sudden he throws a flying knee right and gets taken down. It's like
why are you doing that?
Yeah. Why do that? So that's my spiel is UFC. If you want to make an exciting fight that you could put on a UFC fight night, we just had Sergey Spivak in his first ever UFC main event. Put Jailton Almeida in there, put him on the map, and see where it takes you. Because either way, it doesn't matter. If you lose to Jailton Almeida, or if Jailton Almeida loses to Sergey Spivak, it's like, oh my God, I lost to one of the best guys in the world who's probably going to be a champion one day. Also, if Tom Aspinall gets healthy, I would love to see a rematch between Tom Aspinall and our boy Sergey Spivak. Just because back in when we went to, where would we go? We went to Bottle Rock. And Sergey Spivak stepped in on short notice against Tom Aspinall. Yeah. And I was saying, bro, we can't sleep on this guy. This guy from Moldova. Or, yeah, I think he's from...
I don't know where Aldo is. I don't know where that is.
Yeah. I think I don't want to say that.
Like where's?
I don't want to know. I don't even know. I don't want to say it again because I don't know where he's from.
You don't want to embarrass yourself.
Yeah, I don't want to embarrass myself. But those are the matchups, baby. I really just want to talk about UFC 284, okay? Because we got some fights. We don't have to talk about Max. We can save that for later. But I guess it kind of does fall into everything just because we're talking about 145-pound division, the implications of UFC 284 on that division. But as of UFC 284, we're going to get a sick-ass main event, dude. Probably one of the craziest super fights you could have. I'm usually not really an Alexander Volkanovski fan just because...
That's so surprising to me.
I'm starting to like him more, all right? And I'm going to be a fan now.
All right.
I'm gonna tell you right now that I have not been the biggest supporter of Alexander Volkanovski because I love Max Holloway, all right? So it's just been hard for me to accept Alexander Volkanovski, all of that, all right?
Yeah.
But I do like Alexander Volkanovski now, especially because I don't really feel any type of way between Islam and Alexander. The reason I don't like them is because when you watch their fights, they're so much better than their competition that it's just boring to watch their fight. But now we get two guys that are going to be going at it that we don't know the answer to the question. Obvious answer is that Islam is going to buzzsaw through him. And I even made a segment on this podcast that says we need to stop with the cap. Alexander Volkanovski is not going to take this fight against Islam Makhachev. Well, he did take the fight against Islam. And that's respect in and of itself, all right? But
you sound like a politician right now.
The one thing that is interesting to me, which separates Alexander from probably the rest of the pack at lightweight, because I'll say it right now. At lightweight, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Beneil Dariush, Michael Chandler, Rafael Fiziev. Let me get down to Armand, favorite fighter. Those guys, if they fight Islam, I can surely and positively say Beneil Dariush, kind of an X factor, he has good grappling, but I think that they would fight the same way through that entire fight. And what I mean by that is if things aren't going good, it's going to be hard for them to adjust. Islam's going to keep doing his thing. The one thing that I'm confident about with Alexander, and I think a lot of people will tell you this, is the dude makes in-fight adjustments. He was like 2 rounds down to max. The rest of the fight looked completely different because he changed up. He went all Henry Cejudo on him. He went all Stipe Miocic on him, bro. And I just think that if Alexander gets the shit beat out of him in round 1, we could see a completely different round 2. Mm-hmm. If Alexander gets the shit beat out of him in round 2 and 1,
round 3,
bro, he could knock him out in round 3. I'm telling you right now. And he's so clean. I was just watching some of his highlights with Korean Zombie, bro. His head movement, the way when he hits you, it stings. I don't think he's gonna be able to drop Islam. I don't really even think he's gonna beat Islam. But I think he's gonna give Islam a hell of a time. Just because I think that he understands Alexander's just a different breed and a beast. I was about to say breeze. 1A away from breast. But I think that he's got the keys. He doesn't have a lot of a neck. It's hard to choke someone out when they don't have much of a neck. And they don't really have much of limbs. They don't have a lot of limbs either. He doesn't. Short muscle insertions. What are you going to do, arm bar him? I don't think so. We're talking about a guy that used to weigh in the 200s. We're talking to a dude that had a snake around his neck. Did you see Alexander Volkanovski, his old hairstyles? The dude, he's lived many lives within one life. He looks different. He's had multiple different looks within the same life. He went from like Steve Irwin-esque to like Jason Statham all in one lifetime. And he's not even 40 yet.
It's like the exact comparisons. Like literally Jason Statham now compared to Steve Irwin. Yeah. That was good.
Do you have a prediction for this fight though? I just really believe that as much as we want to think that Alex has a shot, I just don't know if he has a shot.
I don't know. I personally think I like Alex more because I've seen him fight more, I feel like. So I want him to win, and I feel like he has it in him. Maybe at the bottom of him. He really needs to grab it.
Yeah. He's got to dig deep. I think he could make Islam dig deep. But
So-
I'm not convinced that Islam Makhachev isn't made of flexible cement, though.
I don't hate Islam either, though. Like, he is a good guy.
Oh, yeah. But
I
just
based it on personality.
I just don't think... Sure, Alex may stop a takedown in the first minute of the fight. Sure, he may stop even a second attempt. But when he gets to that third, fourth, fifth, and we're pushing like double-digit attempts, you can't tell me Alexander's not on his back getting choked out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe we could see next level Alex. Maybe we could see 5-star UFC 4 blue, like just absolute sick short design Alex Volkanovski, because they always give like the really good fighters that they put on there like cool shorts and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe we're gonna get an absolute god tier Alex, and if he wins, I'll forget about everything about Max Holloway, and that division is gonna be crazy. And we'll talk about the main event right now. We get the co-main event. We get the freaking Mexican warrior Yair Rodriguez, who hot take right now. I think that guy is probably one of the only, I think besides obviously Ilya, you know how I feel about Ilya and Mavsar. I think they can beat Alex. But the dude that I saw against Brian Ortega was just like scary. Like stinging shots, abs so crisp and clean. And you saw it against Max Holloway. He was popping Max Holloway. And if it wasn't for Max Holloway starting to grapple with him a little bit, it was kind of crazy on the feet. It was like pretty even. So you never know what's going to happen here. And I think that we're going to see Yair Rodriguez steamroll Josh Emmett. And then I think I'm going to lay out the featherweight picture.
Okay.
Alex, I'd say 80% chance he's going to lose this fight. He's going to go back down. He's going to face Yair Rodriguez. Could Yair pull off one of the upsets? I think he could. And what does that do? Max is going to piece up Arnold Allen. All right? And that's a fact. Arnold Allen is no shot against Max Holloway. Max Holloway, this is the levels. Alexander, we're going to go down a little bit. Max. And then after that, I'd say Yair is a little bit worse than Max. Arnold's a little bit worse than Yair. And then the rest of the pack. I guess Josh Emmett's in there somewhere. And Calvin Kattar and all those guys. But Max is going to get the title back because Yair is going to beat Alex Volkanovski. That is my hot take. One of my hot takes. One of my many hot takes.
We should title segments hot takes.
That's the only way he gets the belt back, because we know unless Max comes back absolutely god tier level on the feet, not afraid to engage, I just don't see him beating Alex. Max does have a few more years in the tank, but does he though? Because he's taking a lot of damage. You never know.
You're going back and forth at this point.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one.
We'll just have to find out on Saturday. Well, I won't even be able to watch it, so there's that.
I'm pumped.
I'll be working, and then I have a Galentine's with the ladies, with the future educators of America.
What are the fights that excite me most on this card?
Let's hear them.
Jimmy Malarkey.
I knew you were going to say that. As soon as I read that name, I said he's going to read that name. So,
All you need to know about Jamie Malarkey is he finds the target. Doesn't matter who he's fighting. Finds the target. He could be losing early in the fight. He could be winning early in the fight. He could be losing later in the fight. He could be winning later in the fight. He finds the target. You just never have to worry about that guy not landing shots on the feet. Always a fast starter. Always a fast finisher. He's a good guy. Like, if you're going to stand and trade with Jalen Turner, it just goes to show the cojones you have strapped on you.
Cojones.
That's the one guy. Now, the one fight. The fight that not enough people are talking about. This card wasn't even talked about enough. Melsik Baghdasaryan is coming back to fight his most difficult opponent to date, Josh Culibao. Josh Kulibao's fight with Sung Woo Choi, absolute berserk madness. Melsik Baghdasaryan, he was supposed to fight TJ Laramie a little bit ago, but then he hurt his hand, I think. But now he's back, and he beat Bruno Souza. Bruno didn't want to engage with him whatsoever. He knocked out Colin Anglin in his UFC debut. Melsik Baghdasaryan has the skills to be one of the best featherweight fighters in the UFC, without a doubt. Takedown defense hasn't really been tested too much, but when Colin Anglin shot, he got back up to his feet. But Melsik, he's going to be able to display his striking. He didn't really get to do that against Bruno Souza, which I think he really wanted to. He was just kicking him down. He was chopping down Bruno Souza's legs with his leg kicks and stuff, but Bruno was just circling around the octagon the entire time. Josh Culibao is going to it's just going to test Melsik all around. Josh Culibao, he's going to shoot on him. Josh Culibao is going to throw heat. And my X factor is, and just what makes this fight extremely interesting, is very few guys probably are going to match Melsik Baghdasaryan in terms of speed on the feet, in terms of throwing hands. Josh Culibao is going to match his speed throwing hands. He's going to maybe beat like Melsik to the punch, literally. I've literally pulled that joke before earlier on 2 months ago. But like that's what I mean. I think Josh Culibao could land first against Melsik Baghdasaryan. The one thing Melsik got on him is the leg kicks. This dude, nothing is telegraphed, all right? He can spin you into he can spinning heel kick you into a different dimension, and that's one thing. Josh Culibao is susceptible. He's not afraid to take one to give one. And the one thing is, if you take one from Melsik, you might not be waking up on the right side of things. Like, you're probably going to be waking up in a hospital. I'm not going to lie. Melsik Baghdasaryan, I just think that it's going to be good for him because a lot of guys, they know his striking is absolutely insane. They know how fast he is. Like, he's just one of those guys, when you watch it through the TV, you're like, oh my God. This is why I didn't do mixed martial arts growing up. Because I know I'm going to have to face this Armenian freak show one day if I get good enough. And so Josh Culibao, even though he's my Filipino boy, we're relatives somewhere along the line. I'm going to have to go with Melsik on this one because I really think Melsik's got the tools. He's 31. He's in his prime. Bro. He's one of those dudes that I know Ilia Topuria has the juice. I know Movsar's got the juice. I don't know how much juice Movsar's got on the feet for Alexander Volkanovski, but in terms of just pure striking and just absolute shred city, I mean, Melsik's bodied. I mean, the dude he's been taking pictures, and I literally, it's a thumb stopper. You're like, holy shit, bro. Have you like been eating anything? Have you been doing anything besides just kicking the heavy bag and beating the shit out of your training partners?
It's like not a way to live.
Bro, like, Melsik is absolutely shred city, and I just don't know if Josh... This is just such a fun fight, and Josh is not scared of anybody on planet Earth, and Melsik is going to get a guy that is going to allow him to display his full skill set, and I think Melsik is going to impress the whole entire world. It's his stage, and he's going to take it over. But yeah, that's the fight we're not talking about enough. Jack Della, obviously, I think he's going to stun the world, dude. He's going to stun the world. He's going to first round knockout of Randy Rude Boy Brown. I was listening to Paul Felder and Michael Chiesa talk today, and I couldn't agree more, dude. Jack Della Maddalena's boxing is some of the best in the UFC. The way that he can just work the body. I mean, his left hook, his southpaw, he's just so clean. He knocked out Danny Hot Chocolate, I think. I thought Danny might have a shot in that fight. Yeah, it was knockout. And the Ramzan Aviv, he drops Ramzan with the body shot. And then Pete Rodriguez, obviously, he popped him too. Pete Rodriguez, he's a fun fighter. But Jack Della, he's going to take Pith by storm. And he's going to knock out Randy Rude Boy Brown. Yair's going to bust out through Josh Emmett, I hope. And yeah, that's just the main fight, dude. Is Josh Culibao versus Melsik Baghdasaryan. It's going to be on the prelims, dog. You got to watch it. It's going to be 15 minutes of freaking flames. It's going to be crazy, baby. But yeah, I'm pumped for it. When I was looking through, I was expecting to be a little bit more stacked, but it's going to end up being one of those cards that's really good.
No surprise, yeah.
Yeah, just like the card before last. There was some card I think that people were like, "Oh my god, it's not stacked," but it ended up being really good. To finish it off, did we talk about? Just really fast.
Yeah, we're pushing an hour here.
Well, if we didn't talk 30 minutes about Ken's Artisan Pizza.
It was a 10-minute conversation, but yeah.
Oh, God.
We also always
Give me some hot takes. Give me some hot takes.
I don't got nothing for you.
No, I want you to tell me. What do you think Brandon Moreno is going to still be the champion by the end of the year?
No.
You think Alexandre Pantoja is going to beat Brandon Moreno by the end of the year? I can feel it. Alexandre Pantoja is probably going to beat Brandon Moreno just because he has his number, but also do not be surprised. These are like our hot takes for who could be end up becoming champion. Manel Kape, dude. I think he's going to get his fight again against later in the year against Mateusz Nicolau. Just got a fight against Brandon Royval. I think Mateusz gets past Brandon Royval. Why not give Manel Kape his rematch against Mateusz Nicolau? After that, he gets a title shot. I would not be surprised if Manel Kape ends up getting the title by the end of the year, bro. That is my hot take. Next is that I really do believe that our boy, Marlon Vera. He's gonna get his hand on the belt eventually. He's just too much of a badass not to get one. Same with Umar Nurmagomedov. It's probably not gonna happen this year, dude. But I think Chito Vera is probably the most likely candidate to get a belt back. Petr Yan, I just don't know if he has the juice in the tank to beat Aljamain. Merab, it's gonna be an interesting fight, but he can't beat Aljamain because they're not gonna fight because they're best friends. Next one is Yair Rodriguez. I think he could knock off Alexander Volkanovski. Islam, nobody's gonna beat Islam. That's a fact on God. Except Arman, but Arman's not going to get a title shot soon. Leon's probably going to lose to Kamaru again. And then Hamzat Usman by the end of the year. Oh my God. That'd be crazy. Hamzat could be middleweight champion of the world. Oh my God. Could you imagine? Yamhal Hill, who the fuck knows with light heavyweight?
Whoa.
Zhang Weili. Yeah. I'm going to have to think about this harder. But
yeah, we can make this longer. You don't have to rush through this. 2023 is almost over. Don't worry.
Dude, Shavkat Rakhmonov, though. He should be number 1 in the world. Shavkat Rakhmonov beats everybody in the top 5 right now.
Dang. That's a hot take.
Fuck, dude. There's so many good fighters. It's insane. All right, sign off.
This year is going to be crazy. Like, probably the craziest year for UFC so far.
Just because of TUF. And also fuck Power Slap.
Well, Kellan's on
when we
Power
have
Slap
Mitchell
hatred.
Sipe, a UFC heavyweight, open hand wrist slapping
Could you imagine
with this part of your body against a normal human being, how do you not expect them to go unconscious? And how is that legal?
Literally, I feel like some of these fighters, they should be like, their bodies should be, what is it called? Like registered weapons? Like their hands.
If you were in the UFC, you should not be allowed to be doing Power Slap. Okay? Like if you were fighting Emmett, like on the Ultimate Fighter, and you're a heavyweight, the biggest division, it should be fucking illegal. This sport should be outlawed.
It does sound illegal.
It's basically gifting CTE. It's
What's
like,
that?
I'm going to open hand gift you.
What's CTE?
Dude, what's the name for it? Let's look up. We'll have an education thing because everybody throws it around. Nobody actually knows what it is.
I definitely have.
Oh, yeah. It's
dyslexia.
chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Encephalopathy. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
So it's a degenerative brain disease found in athletes, military vets, and others.
If you're going to say military, say military. Military.
It's military.
Military.
Military vets.
Military veterans.
Military veterans. And
Encephalopathy.
others with a
Why does that last
history
part?
of repetitive
Encephalopathy.
brain trauma.
Encephalopathy. Encephalopathy.
Encephalopathy.
Encephalopathy. Bam, that's a fucking twister of the tongue, dude.
It's a frickin'. Cool on the F's.
It's okay. The last 5 minutes, I've just been really going off. You. Personality, mood changes.
Oh, me.
Memory problems, that's me.
That's me. I have memory problems. You have mood changes, mood swings over here.
I'm just a swinger all around, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no.
I'm a swinger at hot takes. Like, I take my swing at
Okay,
them.
we're gonna chill. Okay, that's where we're gonna end it on. We'll have. See, we already are being better. We said we would be back next week. We came back. So we might see you next week. We might not. But for now, we'll say we'll see you next week. And hopefully we will be. Right?
Yeah. Yep. We'll think of better topics next time.
These were all good topics. This was a good combo.
We're going to clip it up. Dice it up. Put it on the highlights
snip,
page.
snip.
Put it on the highlights page for you. Yeah, I just really don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be a fun night of fights. Could be mind blown. I'll tell you what. Might do an episode of Alex Wins. Just one, like,
Just
quickie.
a quick little. Just a quickie.
Because if Alex wins, oh boy, does that open things up. Oh boy, does that open things up. And if Alex wins, what the hell do you do? What does this do for the division? Oh, we're going to do a Makhachev Volk rematch? Dude, what? Why? You know how many lightweights are chomping at the bit to get a title shot? I don't know, man. But it is kind of cleaned out. I mean, if one division has earned a spot to do a double champ, it is probably lightweight, just because like the top guys like Gaethje and Dustin have already got their chance to get their titles, you know? So it's like, it makes kind of sense that you can like do some bunky with it, because the top guys are still at the top, and they never like punched their ticket. They never like took advantage of the opportunity. You know?
Yeah.
So I guess it is a division that actually has earned a chance to get a little bit freaky with it. But
these metaphors you're using are just...
I mean, it's facts, though.
Yeah.
Gaethje lost to Khabib and Charles. Same with Dustin. Imagine if Volk wins, though. How many people are going to be lining up for a title
That would be
shot,
crazy,
though?
yeah. That one is going to be crazy.
Volk could be the only man on planet Earth that can beat Islam. I don't know. Dude,
We'll
stop
find
listening,
out.
bro. If you haven't stopped listening by now, what are you doing?
Well, we'll see you guys next week. Sorry we brought the energy down a little bit, but we're just pondering things. Kellan's
It's just a fun
thinking
time
of
to be alive. It's a fun time
so
to be
many scenarios.
a Ma fan.
Yeah, a Ma fan. Okay. An hour and 1 minute for you guys.
Sign off.
This is a long one.
And we're going to get some sleep tonight.
Yeah, I need to get sleep. Gotta go.
Just
See
a
you guys
message from our
next week.
sponsors, guys. We're going to sign off.
Sponsor us.
Yeti, not a sponsor.
This is Stanley, but okay.
No,
Bye.
I have a Yeti, though. Stanley sucks. It's a trend. It'll die.